Hello and welcome to No Dogs in Space live stream. It's the live stream, and I'm Carolina Hidalgo.
My name is Marcus Parks. I'm your co-host for today, and on this show, we got a nice, big, juicy, fat segment for you. Say we might have been cut. It may have been cut from the fat of the land.
Oh God, yes,
were.
we're getting into EDM.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We already dropped MDMA about an hour ago. We're ready.
Yeah, man, I'm rolling fucking hard right now. Welcome to No Dogs in Space, the live stream. If you want to comment on anything that we're talking about today, just talk about it in the chat and we'll have it put up in front of us. If you have general questions, we're going to wait till the end of the show to answer those. But if you have any comments about what we're talking about, feel free.
Or stories.
Yeah, or stories, anything like that. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget that you can watch this live at twitch.tv/LPNTV every other Monday at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. EST, and welcome to everybody who is watching live. And of course, Georgie is at the moment paying attention.
The disapproving Corky is our name. Unfortunately, I don't know why we didn't realize this till years later that she's a half Corgi and we named her Georgie the Corgi.
It took us like 6 years to realize Georgie the Corgi was a thing.
But yeah, she's got the side eye, so whenever we play anything, especially Guns N' Roses, she will side eye it the whole time.
Hates it. Absolutely, she hates Guns N' Roses so much. Prefers the work of David Lynch as a musician. Now, about a week ago...
Yes, she likes the contemporary masters. Oh my God. She has shoes, all the others.
She likes experimental music. What can I say? She doesn't like rhythm. She doesn't like melody. She just likes noise.
But who likes the beat? That's what we're going to talk about. EDM, baby. When I grew up, it was called techno.
Yeah. When did they stop calling it? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Well,
I was just about to like, when did they stop calling it techno and start calling it EDM? When I was a kid, they called it techno.
When you weren't around. That's for damn sure.
I was doing coke in the Lower East Side.
No one invited you to this meeting.
Mid-2000s. Yeah. That's when it was. That's when everything changed.
Hello, Marcus's nephew. By the way, good to see you guys.
It was a long time ago.
Just don't do drugs unless you know where it came from.
It's the 20s. I was in my 20s. So a week ago, last Saturday, we went to go see an EDM show. I'd never been to an EDM show.
Yeah, I was a huge fan, and I think I played a song for you, and you're like, okay, I'll go with you.
Yeah, we went and saw a band called Brutalismus 3000. Well, band, a duo, you know, an EDM duo, a DJ, producer, and a singer. And they were fucking incredible.
They're awesome. So EDM, by the way, for anybody who's Marcus, electronic dance music.
Sure.
And so they're a German couple who met on Tinder. And then a few years later, they decided to work together. Because they thought, well, you know, it'd be a good idea. And so they started this group, this electronic group. And you know who turned me on to it? Amber Nelson.
Yeah.
Amber Nelson from Spun and Brighter Side. She's the one who told me I think she made me a playlist or something like that called Slut Girl Pop or something, which is really good, by the way. It's a really good playlist. And Brutalismus 3000 was on there. I became a big fan. So we went to go see them at the Hollywood Palladium last Saturday. And man, that show was so good. It was so good.
Let's see. It's a small clip. I only took one clip. I'm not a big guy putting up the phone the whole time. But I like to take one clip just for memory's sake. Let's just see a little bit of the show. I mean, this crowd was fucking wild.
I know. I wish I brought sunglasses.
Yeah.
There's so much strobe light.
There were so many people in the crowd with sunglasses on, and we didn't understand why until the show began. Yeah. Now, those drops are fucking insane. I would like to ask one question, because it seems like Mr. Tom Bombadilla here on the chat, he knows a lot more about EDM than we do. He says, do you consider Giorgio Moroder EDM, or do you only associate him with modern electronic music? I don't know who that is. I wish I did.
Yeah, no, I know who Moroder is. Can we play some? But it's electronic dance music. Like, would it be dance?
Yeah, would it be dance?
Can you dance to it?
Have you ever seen American Gigolo, perhaps? Call Me was a co-written by Moroder and Debbie Harry.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There's like an electronic version of that song that plays throughout the movie.
Richard Gere.
All right.
That movie's
I'll never
actually
forget
pretty
Richard
damn good.
Fantastic. Scarface soundtrack. Actually, no, I would not consider it to be EDM. It's just
No, it's
electronic
not.
music because you're not dancing
It's
to
more
it.
like mood music.
Yeah.
Mood.
Yeah,
Yeah. We're
yeah.
going to go with that. But dance is more, you got to move to it.
And I want to ask, and maybe someone on the chat knows, is that we noticed at the show there were at least 5-10 kids that had.
There were like 25 to 30.
I mean, they were. I mean, some of them seemed like they were in their teens.
I didn't see, okay. No children were there, but
Well,
according to
18,
Marcus,
19, you know, kids. The kids.
this is why you were not invited to the EDM meetings.
All right. Fine. But these young adults,
Thank you.
many,
Yes, it's a genre, young adults.
they had these little plants attached to their caps, attached to the. Okay, Gurney over there.
Maybe it's a
is-
Minecraft thing.
Yeah,
I don't
Gurney
know.
sprouts.
No, it's not.
Okay,
It's
so they had
sprouts.
sprouts attached. Why?
What is that?
You get sprouted, is what. Is what Gurney said.
And then, okay, so Gurney, how do you get sprouted, and why weren't we invited to that meeting? Please come to a mic.
So I actually just started sprouting people for the first time too at shows. You buy a bag of little plant sprouts online, and there are little clips on them. And I brought a bunch of the string cheese incident. And what's fun is like if someone's kind of messed up or drunk or something, they notice it less when you just clip something on them. And it's a fun surprise for later. It's for all genres. I've seen it at ADM shows a lot, or jam bands or something. But it's just a cute, fun thing. Like you notice your friend sees you get sprouted on your hat or your shirt or something. So it's cute.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
so much more innocent than I thought it was.
Well, that's.
Should be live scorpions.
Oh, I like the sprouts. It's very cute. I love it. I can't wait to get sprouted one day. I only had 3 Modelos.
Yeah.
Which was still a lot. We were a bit older than the crowd.
We were a
But-
bit.
But it was cool. I mean, we looked like someone's manager. That's for damn sure. But it was really, really fun. And we were in the thick of it. In the thick of it. I can't believe I don't have COVID again.
I know. We were right in the middle of everything, and it was
Yes.
so much fun. Though.
Yeah.
Everyone was dancing, going
Your
fucking
sweat
hard.
and
yeah.
is on their sweat, and we're all just having our sweats together. It's really, oh man, it was so much fun. I showered, but during that time, and I never got sprouted, but
No.
that was so much fun, and everyone was so nice.
Everyone was incredibly nice.
Even the people who were annoying were like, "Sorry, I'm annoying," which is really, really nice.
yeah, and they did it with a smile. It was
EDM and metalheads, just certain kind of fans,
super nice.
Yeah.
So, because we had such a good time at the EDM show, we figured today that we would spotlight a band from way back in the 90s. A
Yeah.
band that we personally loved growing up and still,
Absolutely.
still enjoy quite a bit. It was, this whole thing was kind of inspired because I came upon a reel that we're going to show later. But we figured that today we'd do a whole thing on the Prodigy.
Yay! Thank you for clapping at home. I know you're very excited, but
Yeah.
it's just the thing is that they are not just electronic music. They kind of are genre bending.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. There's bits of rock and there's
Well, the
bits of
vocals are very punk.
Yes, there's a lot of punk and the attitude as well, and there's definitely notes of rap music in there.
Yes.
Because their background, a lot of them is in rap or hip hop. I know hip hop is the culture and rap is, but it sounds better to say hip hop.
Yeah.
Kind of music. I believe that Liam Howlett, who is the principal songwriter, the guy behind the Prodigy.
He's the brains behind the project.
He started out as a break dancer in a hip hop crew and everything, and started working in DJing. And then he broke off to kind of DJ his own sets and then start making his own music. He eventually called it Prodigy, or The Prodigy, named after his favorite Moog that he was working on. So it's basically the thing that he saw in front of him. He's like, okay, I'll just call it that.
Yeah.
And that's how the Prodigy became the Prodigy.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Oh, Blackie Partridge from the chat says that their Coachella set was. Apparently, they did Coachella this
Oh,
weekend.
wow. We are not going to go to that. So we had no idea.
Well, for those of you who don't know who the Prodigy is, or for those of you who love them and just want to hear a little bit and just to see a little bit of the mid-90s awesomeness that was the Prodigy, let's watch.
I think it's timeless.
I think it is timeless, but let's watch a little bit of the video from, definitely their biggest song, their biggest hit, Firestarter.
Yes!
No. Go. Liam.
I'm the fear addicted, danger illustrated.
You know I had my tongue pierced in the early 2000s?
Of course you did.
I know, I'm so late.
No, I'm just saying it's, I could see it.
Firestarter, twisted firestarter. I'm a firestarter, twisted firestarter.
Twisted Firestarter.
It's amazing. Anko 1986. That is probably, yes, the year you were born, because you said, I'd hear this on a Cartoon Network cow and chicken ad back in the day. This song was huge. I agree with you. Cow and chicken was very good.
I love Cow and Chicken.
Cat Dog, Dexter's Lab. We should do a whole stream about that, but that's not No Dogs.
Yeah.
But
And Mr. Pom Bombadilla said, unfortunately, the parody from the Weird Al show ruined this video for me.
oh yeah, it was called like Loose something, like or Lousy Haircut. I think that's what it's called. Which, by the way, Keith Flint, the guy who was singing with the tongue piercing and
The Firestarter.
the Firestarter, he definitely had longer hair, definitely very grungy, mid-90s kind of guy. And then he just decided to just shave it into like that double mohawk thing. And then he told the interviewer, because I was watching this, he said like, I realized at that moment that I can never work again, like at a job. Ever.
Yeah.
So this is like my life now. And he was just a dancer. That's the coolest thing about the Prodigy. He only started as a dancer.
Well, when you talked about Liam Howlett, like when he first started off like doing the Prodigy, like that song is from 1996. The Prodigy actually began in like the way early 90s, like 1990, 1991.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And Keith Flint, the titular Firestarter, he was just a dancer, like back in the day. Like he said he had never danced before in his life. He said he never even danced at a wedding, but he went to an outdoor rave where Liam Howlett was DJing and such.
In Essex. By the way, they're British.
Yes, they're very, very British. And he basically just like hooked up with him and was like, hey, need a dancer? I can dance. You want me to dance? I'll go dance.
Yeah, as well as Leroy Thornhill. They're like, we will be your dancers. Imagine just two tall, huge British guys. There it is. There's Keith Flint before he couldn't get a job.
That's little Keith.
And they're like, dude, Liam, you have really great music, because I think he gave him like a it's not a playlist. Well, back in the day, what was
Mixtape.
it called? Okay, mixtape.
Yeah, he gave him a
And
mixtape.
sorry. So he gave him a mixtape, and they listened to Liam's music, and they're like, it's really good. So when you play your own music, we will be your dancers, or and just dance and just kind of hype up the crowd, like almost like a hype man, and
Sort of like
make it more
Bez
exciting.
from Happy Mondays.
Yes, well, actually, that's what they were called later in a more connotative way.
Yeah, derogatory
Yeah,
way.
so
Yeah.
that's what I meant.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was very derogatory. It was derogatory towards them.
Which I think, I feel like that kind of Keith, the guy with the everything, I think that kind of got under his skull a little bit. But we'll talk about that in a minute.
I think so. But the Prodigy did not start off as the dark, lords of mid-90s techno grunge that, we all came to know and love. Like, they were a rave group, or at least Liam Howlett was a rave guy. And,
Yeah,
Keith
they called it Acid House.
Yeah,
by the
Acid
way.
House,
It
yeah.
was an Acid House.
And Keith Flint, of course, he eventually became a singer. But there was another guy in the Prodigy that was also a singer, a guy named Maxim.
Yes.
Yeah, and Maxim, I think he had a hip hop background, didn't he?
He did, and he was their hype man. So he was definitely because he came out and his haircut was even dumber. It was he was totally bald, except he had a tuft of hair in the front.
Yeah.
And that was it. But it was cool and interesting and something to watch, and that's part of the show, right? That is what we call the spectacular, is making it you can't keep your eyes off him.
Yeah.
And that's what he did.
Yeah. So let's see Maxim, when he also, when he really took the lead in a song from, of course, Prodigy's third album. This is the other incredible single from that album, Breathe. That's Maxim. That's Liam. That's Keith.
This is so 90s.
Guys, it's so fucking 1997.
I think this was 94.
No, it was 96, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think the video's 97. The album's 96. Jamiroquai thing going on there, going back and forth. And there's a gator. Yeah, there's a little guy that's the video goes on in the mid-90s using alligators in creepy rooms. Creepy rooms were a big thing in the mid-90s.
Yeah, spiders or a monkey attached to a cross. You know what I'm talking about. 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
Those things were it was just big. That you just needed to have that and a pet spider. And then you'd just be down with the 90s.
Yes, and this is germane to this conversation, Mr. Tom Bombadilla. So be honest, Marcus, did you own the Spawn movie soundtrack back in the day? Oh, fuck yes, I did. Of course I did.
Yes.
Are you fucking kidding me? Who do you think you're talking to?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, he made a bed sheet of it, basically.
The first time I got on the internet in 1995, the first place I went to was Spawn.com to see what Spawn was all about on the internet. You put those two things together, yeah, I'm there, man. I'm fucking there. So, the Prodigy. The Prodigy.
Apparently, a lot of movies and TV shows and games use their music, so we're not really introducing much to you.
No.
But at least you can see their faces.
Yeah, you can see
and their
faces.
piercings.
Well, what we do want to introduce to you is what the Prodigy was before. Because that's the cool thing. The Prodigy was very much in evolution. Like I said, it started off and very much steeped in rave culture and rave music. Mr. Scribble or Mrs. Scribble says, "Have you guys listened to Little Bug? Amazing rave music." Little Big. I've never listened to Little Big, but
they're Russian and they live here in LA.
Hell yeah, I'll check it out.
I hope you're in the chat, Little Big.
Yeah. So.
They're not.
No, they're not. They're definitely
They're busy being fabulous.
Yeah, fabulous EDM artists here in Los Angeles.
I know.
Yeah. So, since they were in the rave scene and began in the rave scene, the first singles from the Prodigy were wildly different from, hanging out in creepy rooms with alligators and, wearing fun nu metal contacts. Let's see the video for their second single. Their first single was the song called Charlie that was, it sampled an old British kids PSA. But their second one, it's called Everybody in the Place. both Maxim and Keith Flint have wildly different looks. That's Keith Flint.
I love this dancing. And of course, all the people in there don't know they're being filmed because they're just in New York City with a camera. They had no permit or no budget, and I love it.
That's that long red hair.
And that guy is being bothered. He's trying to fix the fire hydrant. These are unpaid actors. Extras.
Just people on the streets.
Leroy.
That's Leroy. It's a different vibe. You can still kind of hear like the makings of the Prodigy. But that could not be more different from Twisted Firestarter.
Yeah, that's the same guy.
It's the same dude. It's like 5 years earlier.
I love it.
And, you know.
I love the dancing. You know, I love the leg work and everything. Because that's what they did. They just danced. And then eventually, you know, they decided to get a little heavier. Put on a little eyeliner. What's wrong with that? Pierce
Nothing wrong
your
with that.
tongue. Nothing wrong with that.
Of course not.
No.
No, there's nothing wrong with piercing your tongue.
In the early 2000s, nothing.
No, it's like I actually kind of feel left out that in the early 2000s, like all I did, I pierced my ears in like 1998, 1999. My buddy did it for me.
I had an eyebrow ring, and I worked at Hot Topic.
Yeah, you did. You sure
Fucking
did.
ponderous, man.
It's, you know, we all have to, I mean, you know, I'm sure what I've done more embarrassing things than that, and I'm not even embarrassed because I'm going to tell people this. I've told people this.
I will say this. I didn't work at Hot Topic, but the lead singer in my nu metal band was the manager of the local Hot
You
Topic.
see, I would never be manager.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
that's a whole other thing. The manager's at my Hot Topic.
Yeah, he made us all call him Mentos. I don't know what his real name was.
Yeah, well-
Still, to this day. He was lead singer for a while.
Fresh maker.
Yeah, he would make that joke quite a bit. That's why he wanted to be called Mentos, so he could say he was the fresh maker, and eventually he just disappeared. No one knows what happened to him.
I remember just wearing a lot of Crass shirts, and then when I was done with my shift, putting it back on the rock wall. It's okay. It's been a long time. I can say that, right?
The rock wall.
I'm not taking this home. Even though we had 40% discount, employee discount, by the way, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, nothing like a Crash shirt at the mall.
Anyway, EDM.
Yeah.
EDM, everybody. What other fucking crimes can I talk about? No, so yes, the Prodigy actually, and this is something I didn't know about at all, because whenever I'd watch them, I just thought like they were just a bunch of cool dudes who were very serious, and that was it, right? But they did evolve. You're right. There was an evolution, especially from like the dancey, like, hey, I'm smiling, I'm dancing in the middle of New York City kind of thing. And then when they went to their next album, their second album, it was called the Music for the Jilted Generation.
Yeah.
And I remember this because two of those songs, by the way, are on the soundtrack of Carolina's favorite movie, Hackers. Now, let's all remember the Johnny Lee Miller, Angelina Jolie vehicle that we all love and cherish.
Don't forget Matthew Lillard. Don't sleep on Matthew Lillard.
A serial killer? Hell no.
Fisher Stevens.
The plague.
Nothing's cooler than a guy who rides a skateboard everywhere.
And he wears a trench coat because that was a sign of the times.
His skateboard on his limousine.
Yeah.
On the limousine. That's his move.
Exactly. It was oh man, that movie. Watch that movie, please. Watch Hackers. It is such not a okay. I'm not gonna say it's no Citizen Kane.
No,
it's a B movie, and apparently people have told me it's crappy. I don't believe them. No. It is a very, very fantastic film of its era, and of course, The Prodigy is on their soundtrack. So, music for the Jilted Generation. They had that song "One Love," which is great. Oh, there we go. I think that is the opening sequence to Hackers.
Of course,
as we know. Thank
man,
you.
The city's like a computer, bro.
Hack the planet. Hack the planet. Oh my gosh! Can we go home and watch this?
Yes, we can.
And get some smash burger. And
Yeah.
just, oh my god, I would love that.
Hey, that guy was in The Wire.
Yeah. Wendell Pierce. He was also in Waiting to Exhale. I like different kinds of movies. And Angelina Jolie looks amazing.
Yeah.
And I forget who else is in it, but they're fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Johnny Lee Miller, Matthew Lillard. That's all you really need. And Fisher Stevens. I love Fisher Stevens.
And Jesse Bradford.
Is Lorraine Bracco in it?
Yes, she is. Lorraine Bracco is Fisher Stevens' like girlfriend, something, and her password is God. Okay, I'm giving it too many hints. Too many hints.
What kind of hacker has a 3-letter password?
It's what you did in it's what you did in the 90s. They blamed there's a skateboard. Oh my gosh! Oh, well, we could just play this on a loop and just, the Da Vinci virus. Remember, a little boat will tip over. I can seriously lip read everything. Oh, I forgot Mark Anthony's in it.
Oh my God!
Yes, Mark Anthony's in this movie. Oh God, you've never seen me more happy.
No, I
swear to God. Oh gosh. And then, yes, he takes it, and then they wear these weird clothes. But this
Rollerblading. There's a rollerblading scene.
they are the reason why I rollerbladed, by the way.
Yeah, I also rollerbladed.
Yeah, but it was, as I said in the past, rollerblading is not very convenient when you have to, like, when you're done rollerblading, you take off your rollerblades, you put it in your backpack, and then you put on your shoes, and then you walk into a store, and then you come out and you do the exact same thing. It just doesn't work, okay? So
I'm glad we got your feelings on rollerblading out into the world finally. I know you've been keeping it in for a long time and you've been waiting for the right moment.
Okay, so music for the Jilted Generation that came out in 1994 by the Prodigy. Now, this is the album that actually made them like kind of independent of any scene. That's when they came out of like the Rave festival, which actually worked out better for them, trust me, in the end.
But even so, like those first 2 singles were massive hits in the UK. Like the Prodigy
They were very big.
Even though they didn't really break out in America until Firestarter, they were huge in the UK for like 5 years before then. Like their hits were in like top 10.
Yeah, no, they were very big, especially in there was a big 90s dance culture. I was too young to go out, but I was young enough to rent these movies and watch and pretend like I could be part of it.
I watched Go, and that was the closest I got.
Yeah, that was a good one too. Anyway, that's for next episode. So the Prodigy in 1994, they cross over from a rave band to they become like a festival band, right? Because they have these great songs. Because they decide to like get out of their genre of dance. It's just they're kind of outgrowing it anyways. They started it in the late 80s, and then by the mid 90s, it was 1994. Then they figured, okay, you know what? I don't want to go so fast, because dance music got faster and faster and faster because they thought that's the way they can get harder, which I understand. Punk was the same way. Yeah. I totally get it. But the thing is that Leroy Thornhill, which is, the other dancer, he was like, I can't dance more than 155 beats per minute. If you make it faster, I cannot dance to that. So then Liam Howlett came up with an idea of like, why don't we slow it down, actually? Why don't we get fat beats? Why don't we bring in some hip hop to this?
Yeah.
And just make it like the bass harder and deeper. He didn't know that new metal was around the corner.
No.
But he did make this really great song that Maxim wrote the lyrics and sang to, and it's called Poison. So check it out.
I got the poison, I got the remedy, I got the perfect miracle remedy, I got the poison, I got the remedy.
It really is halfway in between one and the other. Blackie Partridge asked for Please More Hackers podcasts.
Yes, we should do a whole Hackers episode. Actually, we should bring in Ed and Henry for that. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so that album was like a different album because they're like, why are we speeding it up all the time, right? Mm-hmm. And also they included a very important part because they're doing their big departure from the rave culture and into like whatever they want, eventually mainstream, right? And becomes rap, rock, fusion, death metal, everything. But they did include this one photo inside. They commissioned art, like a painting, I believe, that they put into their CD, and I want to show it because it's actually they got a little bit political with this. It's kind of interesting. Do you have the photo? There it is. Okay.
Fuck you, man.
Okay. So
Fuck you, society.
now that was made by a guy named Les Edwards, who is a well-known British horror and fantasy illustrator, and he did say upon doing this work, he said that the guys in Prodigy were a polite bunch of young men. The only problem was that they kept describing what they wanted in street slang, so sometimes I had no idea what they were saying. And then he also
make sure he's holding the fucking machete backwards.
Yes, he's ready. He's ready to fucking. They're done. Les also said I had no idea the record was going to be so successful, and the. He's like I didn't even realize he has to do interviews to this day.
Yeah.
He had no idea. It was just a job, really, and he'd rather be working on other things. But anyway.
Oh wait, I take that back. He's actually cutting the rope with the machete.
Yeah, he's cutting the rope with the machete.
Yeah, and then killing the drawbridge, right?
Yeah, so that way the people doing the outdoor raves can be unfettered by the police.
That's still bad blade safety.
It is bad. Yeah, you're not supposed to cut towards yourself. You're supposed to cut away.
All right, well, you weren't there during that meeting. Well, were you?
Or perhaps it is a commentary on the folly of youth.
You know what this reminds me of? I don't know if you've ever seen the full Monty, but it's a bunch of welders watching Flashdance, and the whole time they're just complaining about how she can't weld right. Anyway, so the Prodigy got a little bit political, actually, in the second album, because that year, the year the music for the Jilted Generation, obviously that means something. That year, the British Parliament came out with, and they passed this bill called the Criminal Justice and Public Order Act of 1994. So it's like a huge bill. I didn't realize you can make a huge bill that's 100 things.
Yeah,
but
that's what the Patriot Act was. Did you not pay attention in college?
I did not. I did not. I was busy watching Ted Leo.
That's true.
Yes. Okay, so apparently Part 5 of Section 63. Where are my glasses? Where are my bifocals? Apparently, the British Parliament decided to outlaw free raves. Like rave, like any kind of rave. So they criminalized free techno festivals in Great Britain, which means on Section 63 they passed they had power to remove persons attending or preparing for a rave, which means if 100 or more people gathered anywhere in that was open air, land on open air, and had amplified music played during the night, it was illegal. And so they called music. This is insane. They had to identify. You have to define everything, right?
Of course, yeah.
Music is sounds wholly or predominantly characterized by the emission of a succession of repetitive beats. John Cage would like a word. So the police would tell you, let's say you're out there, because I've been to actually a 3-day rave outside of the Prague in the Czech Republic. I told you that, right?
Yeah.
I was handed an ecstasy pill and I threw it in the fire, and then the guy who gave it to me was sick for 2 days, and I was really glad I did not take it. Don't take drugs, just drink beer, and maybe smoke some pot. Anyway, if the police tell you to leave a rave that you're attending, or maybe you happen to be organizing or prepping a rave, and you ignore their orders, or you leave and you come back within 7 days, the cops have the authority to arrest you without a warrant.
Jeez.
And can seize all of your sound equipment that you will not get back. And the penalty was a heavy fine or up to 3 months in prison. They passed this. Tony Blair, by the way. Otherwise, the only way to do this, because otherwise it'd be
Fuck you, Bush.
Fuck you, Bush. You and your war. When I was a teenager, I was just insufferable.
As were we all, yeah.
But, I was right.
Yeah, we were.
Otherwise, the British Parliament did say, you could get an entertainment license if you wanted to host a party or something. But guess where you have to get it from?
Parliament.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you lose. You lose. Good day, sir.
Yeah.
So obviously everyone was really pissed off. The Prodigy decided to do their. Can we have the reenactment painting up again one more time? So they decide. So exactly, people are like, you're curbing our expression, our ability to like just come together in groups and do what we want to do, and that's illegal. That's insane.
He's dressed like Eddie Vedder, but he's got the head of somebody from Heavy Metal Parking Lot.
He kind of reminds me of Gibby Haynes, since you guys were just talking about it.
Yeah, a little bit like Gibby Haynes, lead singer of Butthole Surfers.
You're
yeah.
missing the point.
Okay. Yes. No. It's. I like the art. It's nice. Yeah. It's very
Yeah.
cool. They did a lot of cool shit. Like,
Yeah.
because when they kind of moved over from the rave scene into this darker scene, like one of the best songs on Music from the Jilted Generation, which is it's a fucking fantastic album. One of the best songs, Voodoo People. And they did a very cool video for this song. It was much darker than, Keith Flint dancing next to a man fixing a fire hydrant.
No, it was them and Saint Lucia.
Yeah.
Lucia?
Lucy.
Yeah. That's my worst fear.
Being stuck in a suitcase?
You saying, "Don't worry, I'll let you out." And then you film a whole music video.
No, just stay in the suitcase for a little while.
And then you mail it to St. Lucia.
And it's Keith! Very cool stuff. Stuck in a suitcase, getting out of there. It's very fun.
Yes.
Yeah, that's super cool.
That song is great, by the way. Yeah. Definitely download that song tonight if you can. It is so good from beginning to end. It's pretty much what you heard.
Yeah, it's that, across 4.5 minutes, but it's very fucking cool. The whole album is very fucking cool. So, Music from the Jilted Generation was in England a massive hit. It didn't really have much of an impact here in the United States, although the weird...
Well, I was in Mexico City. It was huge in Mexico.
Yeah.
Or at least in the Hidalgo household in Mexico.
I didn't hear of it, but the weird thing is that my drama teacher, and when I was like in junior high, in Texas, small town Texas, somehow she got a hold of this album.
What?
This woman, Ladine Harton, who was, looking back on it, I mean, we fucking hated each other, but, I guess maybe she was cooler than she thought, but she took that soundtrack and actually used it in this small town Texas play as like the soundtrack. So, all of these, these Texas kids and all these Texas like adults are just sitting in a small auditorium, all listening to the Prodigy at like fucking full blast, like 1994 or 1995.
Wow.
Interesting stuff. Now, after that album blew up in the UK, they started working on the next album. They started working on a couple of extra. They started working on the next singles, and Liam Howlett came up with an instrumental that he was planning on putting on the next album that was to be called "The Fat of the Land." At the time, Keith Flint, he was still just the dancer. At that point, only Maxim had done. Was it Maxim that had done the lyrics for "Breathe"? Or done the vocals for not "Breathe"?
For Poison?
For Poison.
Yes. Yeah. And he sang it. Yeah. That was it.
Yeah, he's saying that was it. So Keith, at this point,
He's still just a dancer.
still just a dancer.
He's not even in the album at all. He's just in the album liner notes.
Yeah, and the video. You saw him.
video,
Yeah, in the Poison video, going like, eh. What was the noise, Eric? Again? Yeah. Yeah, they're making that noise.
Kind of a feeble Dean scream.
Yeah. So he hears this track, and at the time, Keith Flint was really into this Red Hot Chili Peppers track called "Warped." It was off of One Hot Minute.
Oh yeah, I returned that one. Sorry.
That album was fine. My friends are so depressed. I can't feel. An aeroplane.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Okay, can I have a poll in the chat? Are you a Red Hot Chili Peppers fan? Yes or no? Do you, regardless of so, do you enjoy the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
So we're just asking, do you like the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Well, I guess the difference is like,
That's it. Let's get more granular. Did you like the album One Hot Minute?
that's a lot. That's very granular.
What else is on there? Aeroplane?
Aeroplane, My Friends, Warped.
I mean, those are just nursery rhymes to me.
I think Around the World. I think that might have been on there.
Did they do Roller Coaster as well?
No, that with Love Roller Coaster was for the Beavis and Butthead Do America soundtrack.
Oh, I'm such an
course.
idiot, yes.
Of course. Of course. Man, that's the song that got me into disco. So, yeah. He's listening to that song a lot, and he's really getting into like Red Hot Chili Peppers. He's really getting into like singing. So he figures, he hears this track that Liam's working on, and he says, I want to make lyrics. I want to write lyrics for this.
Yeah.
I want to sing.
I'm gonna bake some lyrics. I'm gonna stir in this bowl. And I'm gonna put it in a pan, and those will be my lyrics.
And all day working at the Lyric Factory.
Yeah.
So
You don't
yeah,
have one?
he's gonna write lyrics and he's gonna sing lyrics. And so he brings the lyrics to Liam, and Liam says like, all right, this sounds pretty fucking cool. Why don't we try it live? So in 1995, they started doing it live. And this is actually the clip that inspired this whole segment. Is that me seeing this clip?
You showed it to me on the couch.
I showed it to you on the couch because I thought it was really cool. So let's see it. This is one of.
This is the first time, right?
I don't know if it's the very first time, but it's definitely the first time it was ever filmed. Definitely before it was actually recorded or released as a single. This is when the Prodigy was still working out Firestarter and Keith Flint still getting comfortable being a singer. It's Liam.
Everybody check this out. It is angry.
It looks like we made that video.
I'm the trouble starter. Fucking instigator.
Fun cow pants.
I'm the Benedictine. Nature illustrated. I'm the Firestarter. 50 Firestarter. You're the Firestarter. 50 Firestarter. I'm the Firestarter. 50 Firestarter. I'm the picture hunting, self-infatuating. Yeah. I'm the pain-agitated, intoxicating. Yeah. I'm the Firestarter, twisted Firestarter. I'm the Firestarter, twisted Firestarter.
I think we lost. Oh, here he is.
He loves the tongue.
Yes.
Well, the tongue was a big thing in the 90s. The 90s really was the decade of the tongue, now that I think about it.
Yes.
And I remember you in the past properly identifying the head tilt was also very 90s.
Head tilt, yeah. Actually, no, now that I'm seeing this,
I'm gonna bring that back.
I think Keith Flint really did. I think he might be the father of nu metal.
No. He actually is.
Yeah.
He's actually the father that they didn't put on the birth certificate of new metal. By the way, I love that. I'm going to do that every now and then. Just do it. That's
He does this like
how do
sideways.
we look on camera? Okay. There.
Yeah.
You know what? I heard that he was really nervous.
He was so nervous.
He was like, I mean, because I read. By the way, Leroy Thornhill, the other dancer, he wrote a book that just came out last year, and I read like parts of it. I couldn't finish it, but it is really fun to read. And he did say like Keith or Flinty, like he calls him. Flinty was so nervous the whole time. He's like, are they gonna like me? I don't know. And this is a guy that looks insane, who's worried that people are gonna like him. And so, but he went out there and he killed it. He smashed it. Of course, he's a little awkward. He got better.
He did.
As you know, by the time they got to Glastonbury.
Glastonbury.
Yes,
yeah.
they were unbelievable. They were out. They were doing great.
The Prodigy performance from Glastonbury 1997 is really fucking cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Please Google that immediately.
Yeah.
But
and after that song came out, actually, and then once it started getting big, and it got fucking like it was massive immediately.
Mexico City, by the way, huge.
Yeah, and in America too. Like it was hit like number 2 or number 1 in the UK, and they didn't even have any distribution in America. And record labels in America, and of course this shit does not happen at all anymore. This is stuff that only happened in the 90s. Record labels in America got into a bidding war over who was gonna release and distribute the Prodigy's third album, Out of the Land, which would have Firestarter and Breathe. Eventually, Madonna's record company, Maverick, won the bidding war for $5 million in 1996 money. That's fucking insane. That's so fucking crazy. But then once it was released, like, the single had already been out for a while. Album debuted, I think, at number 1 or number 2, top 3 in both the UK and the US when it came out. Like, that's fucking insane. Think about that. That used to be the number 1 song, like the number, like today, compared to what's number 1 today, like the product, like Firestarter, Twisted Firestarter was the number 1 song in the land.
Well, that's because Keith Flint was the Firestarter. By the way, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, yes, of
He
course.
unfortunately passed away, a few years ago?
2019, I think.
Yeah.
2018,
And,
2019.
But he was always like kind of like, that's what the fun part about Firestarter is like he came up with that whole idea of Firestarter because he had this spark that he wanted to do anything for the show, everything for the show. He always wanted to be creative. He even wanted to get set on fire.
Yeah.
And he even said, like, I will go to stuntman school. I will do whatever it takes. This would be really, really cool. And then he had to be talked down. Eventually, he had to be talked down by their tour manager saying, like, no venue is going to ensure that. And so, but that would have also been a cool way to go.
It really would have
Rest
been.
in peace.
It really would have been.
I'm sorry. I just rest in peace. Yes. For him and his family.
Yeah, there really would have been. But you can't do that in venues. Venues don't like fire.
No.
No, not ever since Whitesnake.
Being burnt to death when your name is Flint is pretty serious.
I didn't think of it.
Holy
I did not fucking
shit.
think of that at
Oh
all.
my God, I never fucking put that together. His name was Flint.
Also, you're thinking of White Lion, not White Snake.
Was it White Lion?
No, it wasn't White Lion.
8.
No, it was Great
Great
White.
White. Great White.
The third white hair metal band.
Well, triple actuallys, ladies and gentlemen. We've never
my
had
God,
a triple
yeah.
actually.
That's crazy, people.
Yeah.
It's history in the making.
Also, 72% of respondents do not like Red Hot Minute.
1 Hot Minute. Yeah.
Thank you.
72.
Thank you.
It's not a good album.
Okay.
I didn't
Just
say.
Pan, who can pan to me? Pan to me. Please, someone.
Do we have another? Do we have a camera?
No, put the camera on me for a moment. This is now the Carolina Hidalgo show. Thank you, all 72 of you guys, to vote for me. Thank you for voting for me. The rest of you, I don't know. I mean, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Thank you. That has been my Carolina service announcement. I'm sorry. I'm an asshole when I gloat.
right. Am I?
See us when we play games. That's why we have to do collab games.
Yeah. The
'Cause we're not nice. to
the
each other.
competitive ones get pretty nasty. Yeah, they can. They can get pretty nasty. Yeah.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah, all the times I just fucking wreck your ass at Mario Kart because I'm so much better at you than it.
Although I did beat. By the way, remember that one time, 2021, I beat Holden in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
fun because you're pretty good at Mortal Kombat.
No, I was trashed.
Yeah.
But he was more trashed.
You can beat
That's
me.
how you win.
You can
all
beat me
right?
3 out of 10 times on Mortal Kombat. 3 out of 10. That's pretty good.
I don't believe.
Who are your mains?
I don't believe that.
Who's your main? I'm a Raiden guy.
Oh, I love who's the person I'm always in character sometimes? Katana.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well.
No, I switch it up. I switch it up always.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you remember when we first started dating? You walked in and I forgot to hide. I had a whole card because I cut out a piece of cardboard and I wrote in marker. Do you remember this?
Yes, of
right?
course. The
Did I say-
fatalities list.
Did I save it?
Yeah, we still have it.
I have a fatalities list on how to do it, like up, down, A, B, and I would put it next to the TV so I could, it's not cheating.
No, of course it's not cheating.
It's just,
Yeah. No, you can only memorize fatalities if you're like 14 years old. That's when you're supposed to memorize the fatalities.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll stream some Xbox or something like that.
Yeah.
'Cause I do love Mortal Kombat. I get into character.
Yeah.
I almost get into costume. It
actually
is
pretty good.
is very fun. Yeah, I'm very good at it,
Yeah.
actually.
Speaking of violence, Daniel222 says, "Can we all agree Smack My Bitch Up, Problematic Name and Acknowledged, is one of their best songs and one of the best music videos."
Absolutely.
That's the 3rd single from Fat of the Land.
No, that is very good. Yes, it is problematic in the sense of like people took it very literally, or at least critics took it very literally, while the Prodigy was like, that's not really exactly it. It's really more about heroin.
It is.
Like smack my bitch up,
Yeah.
And also they did sample that lyrics, so it
I
was.
sampled it from Ultramagnetic MCs, who are fucking incredible.
And then you showed me the video of the Smack My Bitch Up, which is like very controversial, but apparently at the end of the video, James knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
At the end of the video, it happens to be a woman.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, is that you're following, it's like a
Twist. It's a twist.
It's like a POV thing where you're following this person who's getting really drunk and just being really violent
Starting
throughout
shit.
the UK rave scene, starting shit. They go to a strip club and they bring a stripper home and they have very graphic sex. Like it is like full nudity, full frontal nudity. And then at the end you find out that it is a lady that has been smacking bitches up all night long.
Marcus showed me that before 9 a.m.
Well, we had stuff to do,
Yeah, we actually did have a lot of things
Yeah,
to
we
do,
had a
and
lot
then
of
we had
it.
to take care of stuff before your 11 a.m. meeting, and I'm like, why is this my job?
It's the life we chose.
It is the life we chose.
Yeah, but Firestarter. But the thing is, Firestarter, it seems like a fun, kind of goofy song now, but it was
It's not goofy at
It was
all.
quite controversial first time.
I love it. I mean, it was. I mean, a lot of people were angry about it. A lot of people were saying you're trying to incite a lot of violence or you're scaring people. And I do believe the Prodigy said, no, I think we are not scaring people, or if anything, we're just scaring people who are just people who have no imagination.
Yeah, the BBC stopped playing it, and the Top of the Pops banned it banned the video because parents were calling the BBC to complain that Keith Flint was frightening their children.
I don't get it. The worst I did was pierce my tongue.
Yeah.
I mean, so I wasted $60. That's the end of it. I didn't even do drugs until I was 20.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, well, I mean, and when I mean drugs, I mean pot, and that's it.
Oh yeah.
I'm very bored.
Yeah. I'm not going to say how young I was.
No, I didn't.
I'm not going to get into that.
I did not do anything at all because I did believe in the whole I need to let my brain actually cook for a while before I try any substances.
They did not teach that in Rochester, Texas. They did not. I did not know anything about the brain at all. I barely knew anything about science. My science teacher was also my football coach. And he didn't know a whole lot.
You're just one home movies video, aren't you? Why don't we show really what Firestarter really is about?
Here's the thing: is that Keith Flint started as a dancer, was always a dancer, even
Ended
after
up an icon.
Ended up an icon. But the mark, I think, of a true dancer. Someone who looks good even without the music.
Naked. Oh, yeah, without the music.
Well, also that. Either or. But let's just see Firestarter without the music to appreciate the genius. Keith Flint.
I'm the trouble starter, punky instigator. I'm a fire starter. You're the fire starter, twisted fire starter. I'm a fire starter, twisted fire starter. Yeah.
Decade of the tongue! What was I saying? It's the decade of the tongue.
It is allergy season. I'm gonna do that too. Oh my god, that's all our dogs.
Yeah,
all our dogs right now. Even Georgie's freaking out. Like, just sneeze in front of her, please, and then she will lose it. Yeah.
Danielle 222 says that made the BBC countdown of scariest TV and movie moments.
What? Well, actually, I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised either. But at the end of the day, Prodigy, solid band, still to this day. Music for the Jilted Generation, still worth checking out. The Fat of the Land, still worth checking out. I got to check out some of the later stuff because someone was saying on the chat earlier that Invaders Must Die, one of their like later tracks, was really good. Because that's the thing about the Prodigy is that even though in America they just had,
They had a moment.
2 hits, like they definitely had their moment. In the UK, they were massive from like 1991 until 2018.
Yes.
Like every album was a
They're
hit.
still on tour. By the way, they just played San Francisco last night.
Yeah, they played Coachella.
Yeah. And Coachella.
Yeah.
That we refuse to go to.
Yeah, but now they're back. They're now back after, because Keith Flint, unfortunately, took his own life in 2018, 2019.
2019, March
but yeah,
2019.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Keith Flint. But yeah, he's he was a hell of a treasure. I'll say that. A hell of a performer.
Definitely. And whatever Parliament things, I think he was a great addition to the Great Britain people of iconatry. Oh God, I don't know what I'm saying. Thanks for the subs. BP Coste 1, Uncle Sherry, love Uncle Sherry, Mr. Tom Bombadilla,
Mr. Tom Bombadilla.
Nate takes photos, and
Zabeth and Dirk Dagger.
yes.
Thank you very much for the subs,
You guys are
everybody.
great.
Thank you so much. And
Are you gonna do a vinyl haul? Or
I mean, we're here at the end of the show.
We'll do it next time.
We'll do it next
Yeah,
time.
we'll do it next
next
time,
time
yeah.
because I think this is the perfect.
You should start a rave in your house.
Yeah.
Like seriously, you should start a rave in your room and then let it grow into the living room, into the basement, into the attic, and then next thing you know, you are in an open field place, and then you have like 1,000 friends, like just doing Molly. Just make sure that you don't get a permit.
Burn down your town. Have a rave on the ashes.
Yes, dance and pierce your tongue, and it does look like Lucifer is there.
Yeah.
But do it and play the Prodigy.
Yeah, play the Prodigy. So
Wait, there's another song that might kick this rave off that you guys supplied us with today.
Okay,
That's right.
so all right, so our band of the bye week, by the way, we got a really great song. Remember Casey Kasem?
Fucking ponderous, man.
Fucking ponderous, man.
So a really cool guy named Zach sent us a message like maybe a month or so ago, and he actually did make a remix of that song because I don't remember saying this. But apparently I did. I said, make a remix of that song. And someone did it. And so they sent it to us, and it's fantastic. But since this is a stream, we need to have a video for it. So we decided to make a music video. just and by the way, a lot of help from Madeline Wilson and Kelsey Netzer and Eric Lacombe. Like, awesome. You guys are awesome directors and producers, and just put the whole thing together. It just came from here and there, and then they actually did it. It is the music video, and this is the premiere. This is the world premiere of the song Ponderous, music video by No Dogs in Space. And this is where we'll leave you off, right?
Yep, that's it. Thank you
Yes.
so much, everybody.
We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Make sure to go check it out in 2 weeks' time at 9 p.m. EST, 6 p.m. PST, twitch.tv/OPNTV.
On Monday.
We'll see you then.
Enjoy the ride.
Play the record, okay? They do this to me all the time. I don't understand it. Don't know what the hell they do it for. Ponderous, fucking ponderous. Ponderous, fucking ponderous. Ponderous, fucking ponderous. Ponderous. Ponderous, fucking ponderous. Ponderous, fucking ponderous. Ponderous, fucking ponderous.